Today's patio chat is being brought to you locally by Westridge Furniture in Delphus. See it all at your finer outdoor furniture store.
Welcome back, everyone. Steve Cleaves with us today. He is Lima's finance director. We're talking a little bit about the city coffers and how do you measure how we're doing strength-wise financially here? Is it income tax receipts? Is that what we're looking at?
Yes, our income tax receipts are doing well, especially the nonprofits or the taxes on our businesses, our net profit tax, and our collections on withholdings. They're up over 10% this year, and that's 10% more than what we had estimated in the budget. So the economy has come back much faster than was anticipated. And I expect by the end of the year, we will be 10% or more above on our tax receipts.
How big of an impact we see, obviously, inflation nationwide, but how big of an impact does the nation's finances have on Lima?
Well, it has a huge impact. You know, if we go into a recession, you know, we can weather a mild, typical recession well, but if we have a major drop in the economy, it'll impact our plans. We'll have to adjust, you know, as we go forward. But we have a very healthy cash reserve, and we can get through that, you know, if we just tighten up a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting because we were talking before we came on, because the thing that will trigger a recession, we hear from all the economists, is what they do with the interest rate. And you were saying before, you think they're going to tick that back up even more, right?
Oh, yeah, interesting. We have at least two more 0.75% increases in the works, probably before the end of the year. You know, the thing is, those interest rate increases, they just reduce demand. They're not going to produce any more oil or reduce your gas prices. They're not going to help the unemployment rate. You know, so, you know, it's not really a good thing to increase those rates, but, you know, to bring down inflation, you know, that's the intent. But, you know, gas prices are the biggest part of that increase now, and that interest rate increase is not going to reduce your price of gas. It's going to actually, in the long term, increase it.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're so dependent on what the Fed does with that interest rate and whether it draws us into recession. Is there a flaw in the system when it makes that much difference what they do at the Fed?
Well, in our system, you know, they're trying to slow the inflation rate. Now, you can slow the economy. They're trying to reduce demand, but our inflation rate here is energy and supply chain.
Yeah.
The interest rate increase is not going to make the ports operate any faster. It's not going to build any new berths. It's going to reduce all that.
Yeah.
So in a way, there's a big counterproductive element to those increases, but that's just what's happening.
Yeah, especially when you're coming out of a pandemic and you want to, in a sense, get spending because people held off a little bit. You want to get things going again, but then you have to pump the brakes. What do you think about the future of oil? Is that all tied, as you said, to inflation? We're dropping a little bit now. You were in the oil industry. Have we hit the worst of it, or is there going to be another spike?
The spiking is going to depend on what happens to the Russian oil supply.
Okay.
If the EU and the U.S. actually succeed in taking 5 million barrels of Russian oil off the market, you ain't seen nothing yet. You're going to see $10 gasoline.
Yes.
So I think that's a lot of political posturing. I think that oil is going to be reallocated, reshuffled. It's a world market. I believe a lot of that oil is going to go to the Far East, especially China. And the oil that China now gets out of the Middle East, out of Saudi and Iran and Iraq and the other Gulf countries, that oil is going to be shifted into Europe.
Yeah.
So the Europeans can claim they're not taking Russian oil and it's hurting them. It hurts them some, but the Russian oil is going to go to the east. It's kind of a shell game.
Yeah, that's a lot of intrigue there. All right, thank you, Steve, for telling us about it. We appreciate it. Good seeing you. Don't go away. Medical news coming up next on Noon Edition.